What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Derek Bear Productions for another video. I appreciate you taking the time to tap back in. Right here behind me, we have probably two of the baddest V8 American cars to ever be produced. We have a 2011 C6 ZR1 and a 2014 S197 Shelby GT500. Today's video is going to be pretty special because I am somehow in the position to be filming both of these iconic American beasts. And really quick, before we go any farther, if you're Team Chevy and you're here for the C6 ZR1, comment hashtag Team Chevy in the comments down below. Or if you're here for the Shelby GT500, comment Team Ford down below. We're going to see whose fan base is bigger and who is going to rep the hardest. I wanted to bring you guys this video today because this is truly something special right here. We have the C6 ZR1 and we have an S197 Shelby. With having both of these cars for the last couple of weeks now, driving them, experiencing, the ZR1, experiencing the Shelby, they are just so different, and that raises the question, which one's better and which one should you buy? We have so much to touch on today's video, so if this is you on the screen right now and you're not subscribed or it's your first time here, do me the biggest favor ever, just click that little subscribe button down below, help me reach my goal of 300,000 subscribers. And if you would, for the badass American sports cars right here behind me, drop a like up on this video, man. Let's smash 2,500 likes. Matter of fact, if we reach 4,000 likes on this video, we will bring you guys a head-to-head street race, the ZR1 stock, about 550 wheel versus this pulley and tuned Shelby GT500, which makes about 700 wheel. And despite the horsepower difference between the ZR1 and the Shelby, don't let this fool you. 550 wheel in a 3,200 pound car compared to 700 wheel and what, 3,800 or so? It's going to be a pretty good lineup, I believe. So if you want that video, 4,000 likes on this video, don't sleep, make it happen. We're gonna take the time to dive into both of these vehicles here behind me. We're gonna take them out single file, one by one, and go for a little drive, get a driving experience, that whole side of things. These were both miles and miles ahead of their time, and it's just crazy to see them both sitting here. So I'm very excited about this video. We got a Mustang fan base. I think it's safe to say we're gonna go over the Shelby first, and then we'll finish it off with the ZR1. So
let's do it.
You guys ever find yourself skipping potentially the most important meal of the day? Well, that's my issue. I'm always skipping breakfast because I just simply either forget or just don't have time. But that's why today our friends over at Magic Spoon have us covered, especially when it comes to their protein bars. These things are absolute cheat codes. You know I'm always in the gym, trying to bench press those Mopar baby mamas, and you gotta stay strong in order to do that. Before I go to the gym, I crack open a Magic Spoon. Just like that. I drive my ZR1 to the gym like a real meathead. And it's great because Magic Spoon here, 0 sugar and tons of protein. Grain-free for one, 0 sugars, 4 net carbs, and 13 grams of protein. Magic Spoon tastes like the cereal you guys used to love as a kid. Some of the most popular cereal flavors are fruity, cocoa, peanut butter, and frosted. Magic Spoon allows me not to skip breakfast and to get that extra protein, so it has me feeling good for the rest of the day. Use that link in the description and my promo code DBP Squad to receive $5 off Magic Spoon. You can also find Magic Spoon in a grocery store near you. That's link in the description, promo code DBP Squad. Go save your $5 on your next Magic Spoon order. So 2014 Shelby GT500, and for those that don't know, I'm a Ford guy. I always have been. My first Mustang back in 11th grade, which was blue 2 valve, was obviously a Ford Mustang. So seeing these things as a younger DBP, that was the car to always have. This was always a goal to have the Shelby, especially in an S197 platform. And don't fault me for saying this, but it's the best Mustang ever released. Simply the best. S197 body style, solid rear axle. The 500 5.8 comes with the Tremec blower, the Recaros. This one has the glass roof, and I mean, it's seriously the total package right here. Ford, yet again, knocked it out of the park with the Shelby. We'll give you a nice little walk around of the 2014 Shelby. It is the sterling gray metallic. You can see, I mean, The metallic in this gray paint is just absolutely absurd. It is super, super bright. And this car is actually factory, believe it or not. It's a pretty rare spec. So the reason why I say it's a pretty rare spec, you have the sterling gray metallic, but then you have these factory blue stripes. This adds to the rarity, but there's actually a lot more features with this particular GT500 that makes it even more rare. Off the paint though, you can see Ford did a fantastic job with the factory wheels. Thankfully, the 2013, 2014 Shelbys definitely came with a nice stock wheel, and this car is essentially stock other than the lowering springs that we recently did. So we got the Brembos up front here. They're in black. You can't really see them, which is pretty unfortunate, but I think we have a little game plan to go and have those paint matched to the kind of deep impact blue stripes. I don't even know what color those stripes are, but they're blue. The blue calipers, blue stripes, I think that'll really give it a nice little spice up. But as far as the wheels from Ford, you guys crushed it. Another modification we recently just did here on the channel, courtesy of our friends over at Lethal Performance, the Roush side skirts, which Roush absolutely nailed it with that design. I personally believe Shelby's should have them. I think they look amazing. It gives it a nice little ground effect look, and you can't go wrong with them. I have them on my S197 GT Lucifer. Jordan has them on his S197 Boss 302. And the Shelby, I mean, it really made a huge difference as far as that ground effect look thing and whatever you want to call it. Moving to the back of the car here, we have obviously some aftermarket quad exhaust. I want to say these are the MagnaFlows. It's a muffler delete, as you heard, but it is stock other than the muffler delete. Stock manifolds, stock cats, stock mid pipe, which we are changing very shortly. Some people like the deeper tone with the H pipes. Some people like the more raspier tones, especially with the Coyotes with the X pipes. Me personally, I've just always run X pipes, so I've kind of stuck with that the whole time. Moving on from the back of the car, this is kind of where some of the magic happens with this spec Shelby. As I mentioned, it's a pretty rare spec, and it has a lot to do with not only the packages, the paint, the color scheme, all of that stuff, but the interior on this car is what helps it get to that low production number. You can see right off the bat, we got these beautiful Recaros. They are leather with like the Alcantara inside. It has the leather, the blue stripes that match the exterior blue stripes, which look really good, and same for the back seats, those match. You have the steering wheel here that has Alcantara on it. I definitely think they could have went with a flat bottom in the Shelbys. Like, that would have just really you know, spiced things up a little bit, but for some reason it took Ford till 2024 to finally put in a flat bottom steering wheel, which is kind of absurd, but hey, it is what it is. As I mentioned, the Shelbys are going to come with the Tremec, so this is something that I can't stress enough when talking about transmissions. I have a 2013 Mustang GT. My 2013 Mustang GT has been boosted for a majority of its life, and the one thing that's constantly on my mind is I hope that MT82 does not give out, because they're pretty notorious for that. It's nowhere near as strong or as quality built as the Tremecs, and that's another beautiful thing about getting a Shelby. You're not only getting a 5.8, but you're getting a Tremec transmission, which I love them. The C6 ZR1 has a Tremec. My 2022 Mach 1 handling pack has a Tremec, and the Shelby has a Tremec. So I have become such a fan of the Tremec transmission. It is just way more solid feeling, and if you've driven both, you can definitely agree. It is a track pack, so that is another like bonus feature of this car. They do have like base models, but this is a track pack. This is a Recaro car. It is a sterling gray metallic with blue stripes, and the final piece is, if you look up here, it even has a factory glass roof in a Shelby, which Jordan could give you a better look at that. That is absolutely hard to find, and the Shelby actually has it. Moving on from the interior, because this is kind of where, you know, things change with the Shelbys compared to the 5.0s. It's no secret though, ever since they made the Shelbys, you know, they started off with the 5.4s, and now the 1314s have the 5.8 Trinities. Obviously come from the factory boosted. I did mention this car in particular does have, I think, the smallest pulley you can run and is dyno tuned, and it should be making approximately 700 wheel. We are going to put that to the test. I'm going to get with my buddy Kevin over at Flame Speed. We're going to slap it on the dyno, because one of you watching right now is literally going to be owning this car. Literally this car right here, you're gonna own it. Time is running out, guys. We are currently running 100 times entries on KDMapparel.com for every $1 spent to take home this Shelby GT500 plus $10,000 in cash. 4 days left of 100 times entries, guys, so do not sleep on this opportunity. Head to the link in the description. All it takes is just simply one t-shirt purchase, and you could be getting the call come November 1st to take home the Shelby, to take home the $10,000 cash, and road trip this beast home. We have shirts, we have hoodies, we have tank tops, we have shorts, joggers, so much on the website with some really cool designs that we just dropped. So go to the link in the description or kdmapparel.com and go take advantage of the 100 times entries, guys. But that's the Shelby GT500, guys. Again, one of the coolest vehicles Ford has ever released. I have been enjoying my time with this thing. This one in particular is sitting at about 25,000 miles, so it's definitely on the lower side. Obviously, with today's video, comparing a C6 ZR1 to a 2014 Shelby GT500, fully optioned at that, there's like two different things that play a huge role into this. One, are you Chevy or are you a Ford guy? And two, the price. Right now, market value for a car like this with the packages, the mileage, anywhere from 58 to 65, I think, is kind of where these are selling at. So yes, it's definitely a pretty chunk of money, but it is one of those vehicles that will forever hold value, unlike a GT. It is a specialty vehicle. You can't just say, oh, I have a Mustang. No, you have a Shelby GT500. It's a little bit different. You just saw all the bells and whistles that it comes with on top of the upgraded parts compared to a normal GT, but 65K is still a lot of money. Truth be told, I do think it's worth it. Higher mileage Shelbys go for a little bit cheaper, or even packages that aren't as loaded as this one, especially that glass roof. I think that adds on a good little price tag alone. Overall though, when it comes to a Shelby, you don't need this exact package. Like I said, you can get one that is cheaper. I would say 50, 55 would get you pretty much the same spec, other than the track package, the Recaros potentially, and glass roof, which a lot of people might not care about that. Why would you downgrade though? Because you can actually take this one home. I mean, just going to kdmapparel.com and just buying a shirt. I mean, you might get a call to take this. That's a little showcase on the 2014 Shelby GT500, but now we have to move on to my newest purchase, and this has definitely been a learning curve. The 2011 C6 ZR1 Corvette. For my OGs, my Ford guys, I know this was a total wrench, but I could not pass up on this deal. Let me tell you right now, this is all new to me. I have never owned a Chevy. This is the first Chevy I have ever purchased, and we talked about the Shelby GT500, and we're now talking about a C6 ZR1. And if you know the market for these two cars, you might be questioning why exactly this is even a conversation. To put it straightforward, I got an absolute deal on this car, and deals are out there. It's a 2011 Velocity Yellow with 57,000 miles, stock, one owner car, and I ended up picking up this car for 57,000. So with making this video, you might be able to find a higher mileage 2009 ZR1 for approximately the same price as a Shelby. But to give you a nice little walk around of the ZR1, you're instantly gonna notice, okay, Corvette has just always been killing it, especially with their C6 and their C7, the C8, all beautiful cars. Right off rip, you can see the ZR1s come with an awesome carbon fiber lip. You have the Velocity yellow paint, which I'm a sucker for yellow Corvettes, and this couldn't have been a better deal and spec for myself. One of the things that make the ZR1 really cool is the fact that you have a windowed hood that shows off that LS9 and the blower. That is just the cream of the crop right there. Moving to the side of the car, you have the nice ZR1 badge with a beautiful blue accent that actually matches the calipers, so they definitely use some contrast colors, and even in the blower lid right here you can see you have that beautiful blue, and it just really ties in. On the fenders you have these vents, and then from the vents you can see more carbon fiber on the side skirts, carbon fiber spoiler, quad exhaust. It's a freaking ZR1 Corvette, man. They really outdid themselves with this vehicle. With this car being a ZR1, you're gonna get some really cool things with that. One of them being the full carbon ceramic brakes on all four corners with these meaty ass calipers. And when I say this car stops, this car stops. We do have the stock wheels at home, but this car is currently on some Vorsteiners, which are really nice wheels. And again, that was with the deal of the car, and I just can't believe I still own this for that price. And this vehicle does have a full body PPF, so that's also a really nice added thing to it. And I almost forgot to mention, but just look at the detail on the roof right here. full carbon, which is, that's just killer. Going inside the car, you're not gonna find anything like the Shelby GT500. This is gonna be a little more dated, but in my opinion, I like that more. C6 ZR1 interior is very plain Jane, but it's almost like perfectly plain Jane, if that makes sense. It's not over the top, but it's also, it has the technology that you essentially need in a street legal race car. No flat bottom steering wheel though, unfortunately. Again, I feel like, you know, a ZR1 should have just had a slight little flat bottom, but I don't even think that was like in at the time. So I have this like carbon bezel that they tried to match to the exterior. I don't think it's real, but regardless, as I mentioned earlier, Tremec transmission, and I have to say the whole seating position with, you know, the shifter right here, your arm sits like this, and it is by far the most comfortable manual car I've driven. You have a factory touch display here, nothing fancy whatsoever, and you can even see I even have a phone mount because it's not quite up to par with the new technology. That's expected though. Seats are actually very comfortable. I'm excited to road trip this car for the first time, and I think we're going to Maryland soon. You would typically think it is not a good like daily or road trip car, but that's far from the truth. This thing feels solid. Got the nice little embroidered there ZR1 in that almost grabber blue one, which matches the rest of the accents. But other than that, as far as interior, that's essentially it. You have little details here and there that make it feel like, okay, this is a ZR1, unlike, you know, a regular C6 base or a Z06 Grand Sport, whatever. That's the interior of the C6 ZR1. Is it better than a Shelby GT500? Probably not. Unlike Ford, Chevy had to, you know, do the whole Corvette fancy smanchy thing, but this is honestly where the excitement for myself comes in, because this is a whole new motor platform. I'm a Coyote guy, 2-valve guy at heart. But right here we have the LS9 with a factory blower, and this is where the whole different driving experience really plays into it, because this thing is a torque monster. It makes good power, but it doesn't rev like a Coyote motor would. So it's an LS9, 6.2 liter, which is bigger than the 5.8. Factory supercharger. I don't know technically which blower's better. If I were to guess, probably the Shelby's, because this one actually does have its issues. And you watched Monday's video where we already took this car apart to fix that issue. I would go watch that. All in all though, the driving experience, the vehicle itself, this has been a true eye-opener, because as I mentioned, this is literally a street legal goat kart. It's so fun, even for a Ford guy myself. Like, you have the ZR1 platform in the C6, you have the power plant, the Tremec, the drivability, the comfort when you need it, and if you want to rip on this thing, it's ready to rip. So it's a very, very fun car, and this is not being biased towards Ford or Chevy. They crushed this car. But then again though, the price tag and MSRP of this vehicle back in 2011 was almost $130,000. So very hard for myself to wrap my head around that at times. But as I mentioned, I got this vehicle for $57,000, and sometimes you find those deals, and I got to find one. But okay, I'm sweating. It's hot. It's about 90 degrees, probably 100 with this black top, and I think it's time to jump in one of these vehicles, go for a drive, show off the drivability, show off the fun factors of the vehicles, and I think we're gonna start with the big man over here, Havoc, the 2014 Shelby GT500. So let's hop in this thing, go for a drive, and if you haven't liked the video already, like the video. So we are now in the 2014 Shelby GT500, and torque monster. That's the first name I could think of. It's just, this thing is super torquey. Got some nice little burbling going on there, and it's a great car. It really is. And I have the sport suspension on, I got the sport steering on, so it definitely tightens it up a little bit. That's a really cool feature again that this Shelby has, is the suspension adjustment. I don't think there's any other S197 that has that from my recollection. I'm pretty sure that's just a Shelby thing. Car feels really good. It's you know, it's one of those things that you could just hop in, you could daily drive, you could take it to the gym, you could take it to get groceries, and you could take it out on the weekend if you just want to have some fun and rip on a little bit. It literally does everything. Matter of fact, we just got rid of those old tires that we had. She hooks up, Jordan. Yeah. And she's whining. All right, why are we doing 4 miles per hour? It's just like from driving the C6 ZR1, there's a C6, but from driving that and then driving this thing's just like a brute. That's like, the C6 is like a nice, sophisticated, linear speed. This is just a brute. It's like,
I would agree
boom.
with that. Like you feel it instantly. It's like, it's throwing you back in the seats.
Yeah, you can feel the weight behind it.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. I don't drive this car much. I've been driving the C6 a lot lately, but yeah, it's just it's a freaking brute, man. This thing, she's a tank.
Say passenger seat wise, sitting in this versus that, you get a bigger pit in your stomach in this than you do in this C6.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think maybe it's just smoother power delivery on the C6.
Maybe.
This is just more raw, and like you absolutely feel it. Like it throws you back, and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
All right, now that it's hooking, the C6 might have a run for its money.
Yeah,
it's pretty quick.
Really good rate.
It's gonna be good, man. That's the first time I've hit it in second gear and it actually had some traction. Last time with those old tires that were just absolutely smoked, that was non-existent, but this, it's hooking up. Trouble pretty quick. It's hot, man. I don't want to rip on this car too hard because one of you will be winning this car. Of course, we're gonna have fun with it, showcase it, show you guys exactly what the 5.8 is capable of on 93 with a simple pulley and a tune. And that, I'd say that's probably every little bit of 700 wheel. I've had my S197 making over 700 with a Gen 3R, and I would say that's it's pretty close. Again, we're gonna have it on the dyno before the winner's announced, and we're gonna see just how quick this is. But I think the C6, the ZR1, after feeling that second gear, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. One thing about the C6, which, you know, we're gonna hop in that car after this, that car, you might not even have to shift. If we do a 60 roll, that thing will do 60 to 120 damn near in one gear. So unlike the Shelby, where you're gonna have, you know, somebody slap that gearing, I think that's where the C6 ZR1 is gonna probably take the cake. It'll be interesting to see, but you have to hit 4,000 likes on this video before we can even talk about that, and I just spit on your steering wheel. Sorry, guys. But what an awesome machine here, man. I can't imagine, like, in 2014 when these dropped, you go and take delivery of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta be a surreal feeling.
Definitely.
Having one of the cars straight out of the factory that's like capable of this much power.
In 2014 at that, like, I mean,
yeah.
Stock for stock, there really wasn't much, I don't think. Like, of course you have, I think 2014 was the first, no, was that the first year of the Z06? You had the ZL1s, of course, but I think the Shelby on the ZL1s in those years.
Yeah,
I'm pretty positive this car versus ZL1.
Before that?
Nah, no, I mean boosted Z06.
Oh.
Like, not C6, those were NA. Slap her in second and you'll really hear her. Ready?
Yeah, the wine goes crazy.
These inlet air temps though, boys, I want to drive the car hard. It's hating life right now though. It's hating life. It is smoking out here, and I never drive with the AC on, man. That's just not me. I know you don't either.
No, I don't.
Dude, that's when you know it's hot, boys. We're in a sports car, muscle car, Shelby at that, and the windows aren't down to enjoy all the sounds and the rawness. It's fucking hot. Long story short though, this is such an awesome vehicle, especially if it's in your price range and you're, you know, wanting to stick to the Ford brand. This is like it. I don't think there's really much out there Ford wise that's like in the same realm, same price range, that is like, oh yeah, go after that instead. I mean, the 5.8 Shelby GT500, they obviously have their weak points, like every car does. Like, everybody complains about the rods in these. You know, I think like 800 wheel is kind of like really where you don't want to go too far over. I mean, even some people say 750 is kind of, I mean, 750, people make that all day, every day, but a little over 800, I think that's when people start tweaking out over these factory rods and stuff. But other than that though, I mean, if you're just looking for that perfect car, like Jordan said, from the factory, pulley, tune, full exhaust, and you know, you have the Tremec and such. I mean, the 5.8 Trinity, it's like, it's seriously just such a good mix. And with this Shelby, as I stated before, you're getting some decent creature comforts. And one thing, jumping in this, I've been driving the C6 a lot. These Recaros, I have them in my S197, not Shelby ones obviously, but that is the one thing the C6 just doesn't have, is like a race seat. You can adjust the, you know, the whatever the hell they're called, like the cradle, lumbar, you can adjust all of that, but it doesn't give you that Recaro body form feel. I really do like that about the Shelby over the C6. I do wish it had more of a race-inspired seat, but I don't know if it would actually go with the theme of that car, though, of that look. Like, again, this car is a freaking brute. It's just, it's a little heavier. You can feel the weight. It's more square, boxy. It's muscle, 5.8 blower, Ford. So, I mean, the interior and such with the Recaros, it kind of fits this. Shot the gap, baby. Well, there's a 2014 Shelby GT500 Havoc, guys. Awesome car. Remember, this could be yours. Just head to the link in the description. You could take this very car home come November 1st with 10,000 cash, and someone's gonna be a happy camper, I'll tell you that much. Right now, though, I think it's time to take out the ZR1. Who put this leaf here? We're gonna take the ZR1 out and just kind of, you know, talk about how lightweight and linear and awesome this car is without trying to be super biased. But need full exhaust, by the way. It's coming soon.
Is it on?
Chill, bro. I have a confession.
Oh yeah?
I already feel like I lost about 300, 400 pounds.
Sitting in it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like something different. You sit in this seat,
dude.
Like, it doesn't grab you in as much, but you still feel like you're super
And you also,
planted.
the seating positioning is way different than a Mustang. Mustang, yeah. You're kind of like upright. This, you're like, it's like fighter jet style.
Yeah.
That's like the best way to put it. Like fighter jet, you're laid back and you have everything you need and it's go time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more room in the Mustang for you to like move around and like.
But this is like you said, you're locked in.
You're in and like, there's not much you can go to.
Yeah, so we're gonna take this for a quick little drive and you know, talk about it. Can feel the weight savings right off rip.
Yeah.
Ah, it's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really in it right now, but it's the delivery's so different.
I think it's just smooth, and that's why you don't get that big pit. Like you get a pit in your stomach, but it's not like the Shelby. Like the Shelby, it's just like throws you back in your seat. You're like, wow, I feel every bit of that. This one's like, all right, we're moving. Oh
man, those carbon ceramics too, by the way, that we mentioned. I tell you what, them things be stopping, hopping in between the cars, like it'll get you. Without stating the obvious, the powertrains on both of these vehicles, again, are just so different. And the way the power is delivered, the way it feels, the way it handles, like all in all, when you talk about handling, that Shelby GT500 can have all the bells and whistles it possibly wants when it comes to the handling aspect. But when we're talking Corvette handling, it's just on a different, it's just a different ball game. I mean, it's built to do just that. It's pretty lethal, Jordan.
It is.
Oh, that was a cop. Holy shit. Yo, thank God I didn't shift gears and keep it in it. Oh my God. This is really where the fun driving experience comes from, because I just feel in total control. I feel like I could move up to Baltimore, Maryland and cut through traffic like a savage in this thing. Like I'm that confident when I'm behind the wheel of this car. This is like equivalent of a cat, and the Shelby is like a Rottweiler. Like they're both disgusting in their own way, but the cat is gonna, you know, it's gonna elude and it's gonna be a lot more nimble than a Rottweiler, and that's the best way to like to describe it. You have a puma versus a dog. And the thing with Corvettes is like, oh, that's my exit?
I was not expecting that.
Talking about a smooth ride though.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm ready to just keep driving.
It's one of those cars you get in, you get on the road, and you don't feel any of the bumps. It absorbs all of that.
Dude, it drives so nice. So we got the big meaty 335s in the rear, 285s I think up front. Like, I mean, this thing drives great, dude. No joke. I would road trip this to California before any Mustang I have, and I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
like, it's so comfortable.
It's that smooth, like honestly.
Yeah, it really is. It's so hard to say, oh, buy this one, oh, buy that one, because everybody's purpose is gonna be different with each vehicle. I'm just super grateful that I'm in a position to where, you know, I can play around and mess around with a Shelby, and then like I hop in my personal ZR1, and I mean I still got my S197 and stuff. I mean, look at this, dude. Like the car's not even trying. We're taking this at 50.
Like if you're looking for a straight track car, this is probably.
Dude, we're at 55. Look at that. Something about it. I've had so many vehicles in my life already at 28 years old. Like a lot of nice ones too. Something about this is just, it's so fun, man. Dude, it just cuts.
I mean, it just hugs the corners like no other.
It really does, man.
You don't ever feel like you're like, ah, maybe I might lose a little grip. Like, it hugs you in there. It sucks you into the corner.
Which one did 13 seconds?
Corvette.
It was slower?
No, it's faster.
Oh yeah, dude, that shit's on the Shelby. That's fast, dude. 13 seconds faster is fucking fast. That's crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well there's your answer. This went 13 seconds faster. That doesn't really surprise me though. It really doesn't. I mean, the Shelby it handles, but this is like built for that. This is literally a track menace. So it doesn't surprise me, but wow, 13 seconds over a stock Shelby, that's a hell of a difference. But again, that's what a professional driver, are we professional drivers? No.
Back when they were testing this, the ZR1's lap time was the fastest ever recorded for a production car on the 12 mile track.
That's nasty. That's nasty. Back to HQ now. Extremely fun. I'm glad I was able to showcase both vehicles in one video. Both awesome. You can't go wrong with either or. It really boils down to spending a little bit of extra money to go and purchase probably the best Corvette to ever be invented. Or if you're a diehard Ford, or if you're a diehard Chevy guy, that will obviously alter that decision as well. For those that are new to the channel and haven't been following along with this ZR1, I am selling my 2022 Mustang Mach 1 handling pack, which is still available by the way. But I'm selling that handling Mustang for this car because as a Ford guy, I can appreciate a ZR1. It's just different. It's so different. It is so raw and it's nasty. So that's why this is currently in the garage and the Mach 1 is for sale. So if anybody wants a Mach 1 for a really good price, email me. It's ready for you. Shelby GT500, such a wonderful car, and I'm glad I was able to scratch that off my bucket list because this was seriously just so fun to actually hop in and just enjoy. But remember guys, we're running 100 times entries for the remainder of this week and this week only on kdmapparel.com to get entered to take this vehicle home, and $10,000 in cash come November 1st. So do not sleep. If you're watching this right now, go buy just one t-shirt and you're literally entered with 100 times entries to take this bad boy home. Links in the description for all of that guys, but thank you so much for tapping into the channel. 4,000 likes on this video. We will race Havoc as he stands versus the ZR1. I personally think it's going to be a pretty rowdy race and it's going to be close. One makes less power but has great power to weight. One makes more power but it's a brute. So it's going to be good. This is you on the screen right here and that non-subscribe percentile. Please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate your time hanging out here, trying to grow this thing to the next level, man. Got some Chevy, got some Ford, and for my Chevy guys watching this, welcome. Subscribe, man. Much love, guys. We'll catch you Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time for another video. Mustang week is next week. It's supposed to rain all week, so man, I gotta make a decision. I don't know which car to take now. That kind of alters everything. So tune in Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Much love, guys. Later.